here. It's right off the bridge, right off the Ed Koch. It's got all these nice little galleries and stores and shit. There's a couple nice little blocks. You know, this part of town is really not bad. I think Neil Simon's townhouse is near here. So we're in Neil Simon country. We're in Chapter 2 country. Bloomingdale's right here. Central Park a few blocks away. I think Scorsese lives near here somewhere. It's like Midtown East. And then I think Spike Lee lives somewhere over here too. So I don't know. A lot of filmmakers, a lot of New Yorker. So they probably know something that we don't. The shop. Look at this fucking cool little window display they got going on here. And we got a golf sale. Golfing and skiing. So that tells you what kind of people live in this part of town. I don't know why you'd live in Midtown East. To me, the east side, I don't know, of Manhattan, it's kind of slept on, but it's like the west side of Manhattan is, oh, this is serendipity right here. That was why I came over here, because this fucking movie, right? Oh, they got Peeps. Look at the Peeps. They got life-size Peeps here. Holy shit, that's kind of scary, actually. Look at these fucking Peeps. I guess they're like stuffed animals. Those aren't real Peeps. They're not actually made of marshmallows or anything. So is this is the serendipity from the John Cusack movie, right? Isn't that what it's about? They fucking meet at like this fucking ice cream place or something. So it's kind of interesting because it's not necessarily a residential, but there's all these fucking townhouses and shit. I mean, maybe I could squat here. Looks like they're renovating that. But then there's these nice little kind of hut-like shops. You know, you don't see that too often with like townhouse, brownstone style, and little art galleries and shit on the same street. That's more like Paris or something. They should do that more, but Neil Simon knows what he's doing, you know. Fucking Scorsese, you know, he's kind of like the ultimate New Yorker. So I feel like he would know, if anybody would know the best part of New York City to live in, it'd probably be like Martin Scorsese. I mean, you know, he's almost like an anthropologist of the city. He's made so many movies here and, you know, about so many different types of characters and shit. I think Rodney's is over here. We've got the gondolas. So, I mean, I don't know. This part of town is just fascinating because it does feel, the east side feels a little more untouched. It feels more like the real New York. The west side is definitely all super gentrified. It's like this Gold Coast of like billionaires and movie stars and finance criminals and shit. So the West Village, right? All of the Murray Hill people. Somehow they didn't ruin Murray Hill. Murray Hill's still pretty cool. It's all like liquor stores and fucking pubs and shit. The whole east side still feels kind of cool. Even Midtown East. Midtown, like I was walking around like the 30s. Over by the Morgan and shit. That's a real nice part of town, actually. From like, I was by the Chrysler Building. It's kind of slept on, I would say. I was watching this fucking interview. Kevin Bacon, I guess, has lived on the Upper West Side since 1976. Fuck, I want to get one of these gondolas. I want to wait for one of the gondolas. I think Rodney's. Isn't Rodney's over here? It's on 2nd Avenue, isn't it? Comedy Club, Dangerfields. For some reason they call it Rodney's now. Yeah, Kevin Bacon has lived on the Upper West Side since 1976. So I saw this TikTok video of him and Barney Greengrass. Which is in a bunch of fucking Neil Simon movies, Barney Greengrass. It's one of these like New York, like Zabar's. Just institution it's kind of famous because it's been in all this media. And I guess it's super expensive now because it's, a museum city, and now it's like this vintage artifact experience that you have to pay for. Like going on the Empire State Building costs $50. It used to be free. New York City just, decided to finance itself by ripping off, by catering to rich people, basically. Trying to get a bunch of fucking rich people to live here, to whom money is doesn't matter at all. They don't give a fuck. They can order Barney Greengrass in or whatever the fuck. Kevin Bacon can fucking go there anytime he wants, god damn it. He's in Footloose. He's in Animal House, for Christ's sake. I don't know what Kevin Bacon has coming out, but I feel like he's been on his music career. He's been really working hard on Bacon Brothers. You would always see the Bacon Brothers playing at BB King's in Times Square. You're like, dude, stop trying to make your fucking music career. Here's an interesting thing I heard. Why is it when musicians are in films, it's looked on as this cool, kind of artistic, vibey career, thing. Whereas when actors have bands, it's looked on as cheap self-promotion. The guy's got some kind of bad music that he, like Kevin Costner has a fucking band. It's like a vanity thing. Russell Crowe's band. Nobody wants to hear Russell Crowe's band. I'm sorry, but we're just not interested. Even the people who like Gladiator and shit are we don't want to hear 10,000 whatever the fuck his band is called. 2,000 Grunts or Odd Man Grunt or some shit. I don't even know. Kevin Costner's band is no. Whereas Tom Waits is in all these Jim Jarmusch movies, and it's ooh, cool. Fucking Joe Strummer's in this in Mystery Train. Wow, that's even better than real actors. I don't know why it works that way, but I don't know. Musicians maybe are just the most enlightened people. I don't know. They have a cultural power that is performative. They can really cast a spell just by being themselves. Actors could be completely propped up. Your whole career could just be kind of a fluke. All they have to do is get a good take. It's not impossible. They can get amateur-ish actors to give memorable, all-time great performances in a film anyway. It's you can get oh god, I'm losing my viewers because I'm being negative. Okay, so what else do we know? Oh, these tariffs. The stock market is plummeting. Lost 1,700 points yesterday. I saw this video. Dave Portnoy lost $7 million. So Portnoy's what the fuck is going on, Trump? We didn't vote for this. I've lost $7 million. Somebody's got to take this guy out. I mean, right? Well, I don't know. You're seeing with everything that Trump does now. People are going, oh, but you're not understanding the long term. It's short-term pain for long-term gain is the idea. Okay, the market is gonna take a little bit of a hit. Yeah, a lot of people are gonna get fired. A lot of people are gonna lose their retirement. But in the long term, Elon Musk is gonna get richer. Isn't that better for everybody? Isn't that just wonderful? Where's fucking Scorsese's house, man? Let's rap, man. Let's rap about movies. Wow, look at this one. I mean, there are some fucking beautiful houses on the street. And yet, it's a couple blocks from the fucking Ed Koch Bridge. I mean, look at this goddamn house. That is crazy, man. What are they doing? Well, I guess that's just like the concrete. That's just literally just like the shell of that fucking house. So I drew my book cover. I put my book cover on. I'll show you that in a few minutes. debut. The first time I ever came to New York, I think we were driving, because we drove. My buddy drove his Subaru WRX. We went to fucking Best Buy, got this power thing that plugged into your cigarette lighter, and you could like plug up. So he plugged his laptop in. So we were watching fucking, this was 2004. You know, it was not easy to do this. We were watching C-Lab 2021, the whole fucking drive. And I do distinctly remember driving through Manhattan and seeing this fucking building right here. Because at the time, The Apprentice was like a huge fucking thing. 2004, that was like, that show had just come on. And to be honest, it was like the #1 fucking show on television. I mean, it was a popular fucking show. Because people like seeing, they're sadists. They like seeing people get fired. They like seeing people get chewed out. A lot of TV shows, you know, just because you have high ratings, that's probably an indication of like an inverse in quality. The more people watch something, the dumber it probably fucking is. And so here we are. I don't know. But at the time, you know, I alluded to this in my poem in the book, Diet Soup, I think I talk about it, is like Puff Daddy had a fucking reality show, right? Making the band. And it was all about like abusing these wannabe celebrities. And, you know, and that was looked on as like, oh, fuck, that's just what you have to do to be a fucking star. It's like, you got to push yourself. You got to run, you know, a bunch of laps around Central Park to get Puff Daddy the finest breast milks or whatever. Whatever that fucking Chappelle skit said. And so, you know, these were the icons of the fucking legacy media. And, you know, it wasn't an accident that they have these kind of like unbelievable setups. And they were just like, they loomed large kind of in New York, right? I mean, Trump has used the fucking media for a long ass time. But at the time, you know, they were just looked on as like stars. You know, now Puff Daddy's in fucking jail. Everybody knows about the freak-offs. And look where the other guy is. Trump Plaza. That being said, I mean, look at this atrium. This is not typical of New York. You know, this has been not typical of my New York experience. Being in this part of town or being around buildings like this. This is just a weird, it's so fucking like 70s or 80s, like this atrium with like, you'd see that like in Iraq's, like a Wendy's might have that. And then of course all the gold shit, everything's fucking gold, everything. It's very like gaudy, kind of neo-Versailles, Reagan era, kind of like Versailles shit, glass. But I don't know, it has a certain style, I guess. It looks like a fucking TGI Fridays would go in there or something. It just feels like Margaritaville. Vaporwave. It's like Vaporwave. It's late capitalism. But that was like one of my first impressions of New York, driving around and seeing this fucking building right here. And just being like, oh man, what if I saw the Trump? What if I saw Trump or Puff Daddy? That would be like the ultimate New York, like celebrity sighting. Like there's nobody more. Like who does he see in fucking Home Alone 2? He sees goddamn Donald Trump. And that's like, whoa, the ultimate fucking, it's like seeing the Empire State Building. The fucking prick. And so now, how do the finance people feel about this? Now that they're all taking a fucking bath. Because Trump is trying to flex in the most senile fucking Alzheimer's. What does he have? Does he have Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or? He's got syphilis, right? I mean, his brain has got to be like tapioca pudding at this point. And so our Mad King is just slopping these tariffs. And so the market is shitting its pants. And I'm laughing. Because what do I care? I don't know any fucking... If those people lose money, it can only be good for me, right? I mean... things will probably get cheaper. I don't know. Maybe this is just like the adjustment. Well, what I'm seeing in the comments, people are saying, well, he's trying to purposefully crash the economy so he can refinance our debt at a lower interest rate. He's going to crash the economy so they will lower interest rates. And it's all to refinance the $8 trillion or the debt or whatever. It's like, I don't know. People will fucking bend any which way to fucking justify. I mean, the whole thing was the guy runs on the market. The whole fucking thing. It seems like even they're goddamn panicking. You know, it's like when they came in, Elon Musk had the fucking chainsaw and they were really gung-ho about this Doge shit and using AI. It just seems like they're using AI for everything. That's what I heard. They literally punched in they punched this tariff scenario into ChatGPT or whatever, Grok. And this is literally what it spit out to tell them to do. Like, AI is just, it's so wildly, this is why rent is so expensive. Because it's so wildly uncalibrated that it's just like spitting out these fucking figures that are absurd. Like, oh yeah, people can pay $2,700 a month for a studio. That's the market rate. AI is telling them that. The algorithm is telling them that. It's like, this shit does not know what the fuck it's talking about. These tariffs are like ludicrous, and these idiots they think it's just like some miracle brain or something where it's like, just throw all the government's problems into AI and just do whatever the AI says, and that'll fucking say, you know, that's the solution. And it's like, it just, it doesn't have like an intuitive touch. It doesn't have like a calibration. There's no feel for this fucking AI. It's just like raw data or something. It's raw fucking numbers. And it's driving us to the brink of insanity. And, you know, so his whole fucking thing is running on, like, the market, how good he is at the market and shit. And now he's tanking it. So are they going to take him out or what? How far are they going to let this go? Right? I mean, the other, you know, the broader strategy being, well, they want to tank the market because, I mean, is this why Warren Buffett has $96 billion? He has everything in cash, right? He's been sort of pulling out of stuff. And the idea is they want to tank the market so they can buy everything cheaper. You know, like, this is a great time. This is a great opportunity if you want to get in on the market. Because everything is tanking. So you can buy this shit, like, you know, cheaper than it's ever been. Or it's been since 2020 or something. I guess, you know, what was it? Yesterday was like the worst day since 2020. It's like, that's not, and that's why people elected this guy. They elected him because he thought he was going to make everything, they thought he was going to make eggs cheaper. And it's like, no, not only are eggs going to get more expensive, but every fucking thing else is going to go up by 500% as well. Your money's going to be toilet paper. I mean, I think to some degree, it's like they don't really need the fucking stock market anymore now that they have crypto. Crypto is like a pure, more corrupt form of what the stock market does, where it's like everything is fucking like meme stocks now, right? And crypto is like almost like a form of that, where it's like, I saw something, it's like Newsmax went public, and Newsmax was, you know, they were briefly valued at like $30 billion or something because it was a fucking meme stock. Because all of these people, like they did with GameStop, remember? It's like all these people bought it at the same time to drive the price of it up artificially. It wasn't like reflective of any value in the real world at all. It's just a bunch of people on Reddit said, hey, let's do this as a fucking prank. And like, so they understand how they can jerk the market around and boost value. Like Tesla is the perfect example of that. It's kind of like the ultimate meme stock, where it's just like people thought this guy, they were all banking. The whole value of the stock is predicated on the fact that Elon Musk is a genius and he's going to take us to Mars and he's going to invent AI robots and he's going to save the fucking world. And now people see the emperor has no clothes and he's just like fucking Pee-wee's Herman's neighbor playing in his fucking bathtub with his boats and shit, and he's actually a fucking retard. He's like an inbred Merengovrian king or something, you know? He's somebody that's been flattered his whole life and doesn't understand what it's like to have any kind of like blowback or criticism or questioning. And the whole value of everything is manipulated based on these kind of like hype illusions. Like, oh, fucking Newsmax is worth 30 billion. Then they said it was worth more than US Steel. It's like there's no way this fucking right-wing like cable channel that nobody watches is worth more than fucking US Steel. Not in like a real world fucking practical scenario. Like in a dysmorphic kind of like scenario that's like entirely based on like manipulation, hype, stoking. This is a nice street. I'm trying to walk on this street a little bit. What is this? Madison. These streets up here, Madison, Lexington, are nice. The ones that aren't numbered. Kind of these nice little thoroughfares. I've been, you know, if you're a fan of my streams, I've ridden the bus up here in the past, so they're all on ketamine, and they're all on fucking coke, and they're all on Klonopin, and they have money they can throw into stuff. It's like playing roulette or something. It's like, oh yeah, we're all gonna put our money on 17. Okay. We're all gonna put it into Tesla. But I think there is some correction because, that's why the fucking Tesla stock tanked. Because people started to see, wait a minute, what the fuck is Elon Musk doing? He's super unpopular. He doesn't seem qualified to be, and these cuts he's making just seem cruel and incompetent. Look at all this, everybody. But now that they've got fucking Trump coin and shit, I mean, I saw somebody was on the fucking New Yorker podcast. I saw a TikTok video. He was saying, why are more people not talking about like Trump coin? It would be, if it was any other president, it'd be like the biggest scandal ever. That Trump has literally got this like private account, more or less. It's just a bank account, basically, where it's like people can just give him money anonymously. It's not traced, it's not tracked, it's not taxed. It's like, that's not legal if you're the fucking president. Jimmy Carter had to sell his peanut farm because of conflict of interest. And yet, this administration has just got fucking so many goddamn grifts going at once. You can't even, and there's just no accountability whatsoever. He's created a frame where no one will blame him for anything. It's all just fake news. It's all just the media overreacting. Oh, so what if they texted war plans over WhatsApp? So what if they fucking sent unencrypted nudes? These police officers doing here? What's going on? Is Trump here? There are all these cops here. Yeah, so it's just like it's all corruption. It's all fucking scandal. And so none of it is. None of it can be, there's no accountability for anything. And I don't know. I guess I don't really want to talk about politics endlessly because it's just like, what is the fucking point? I mean, I think when it comes to our money, that is why people voted the way that they voted. And so keeping track of what exactly is going on with that is important. I never thought I'd agree with Rand Paul on anything, but some of these Republicans are coming out against the tariffs. Even they're kind of like panicking about the market and think that it's, that's their whole everything. It always has been, right? And so what now? What now that it's like the proof is kind of there? That's just like, whoa, this is bad. This is unnecessary. The whole criticism about, well, he's old, but it was like his economy sucks. Like it's the inflation sucks. It's like, his economy wasn't bad at all. It was a pretty good economy, actually. But I don't know. People thought Trump was just going to go in there and just like pour gasoline and just everything was going to just like explode with prosperity or something. Whereas, I don't know, if they would have just listened to what he was saying, and I think even Kamala said this during the fucking debate. She literally said, like, these tariffs, right? Anybody with any sense knows that that's, like, only going to increase the price of every fucking thing. If that was people's primary concern, if you're a Republican, your primary concern is the stock market and not paying taxes. What is all this? Is there some kind of fucking parade or something? Some kind of UN thing or some kind of diplomacy thing? I don't know. Bolsonaro here. They've got a lot of fucking cops. I think that is a temple. So there's some kind. Is it Netanyahu? It's who is in there? There's somebody that is it Seth Rogen? There's some very high level Jewish person that they're trying to protect. Or is it a holiday? Is it some kind of Jewish holiday today? I don't know. Is it Easter this week? Is that this week? I'm a bad Catholic. I have no idea. It's coming up, definitely. I know that it's coming up. That's sort of... Oh, it's Easter colors out here. I just had to come to Central Park today. I mean, it's going to be sort of in the 50s, I think, for the foreseeable future. It's not... So this is like the warmest day we're going to have for at least the next 7 to 10 days. So, I just had to fucking enjoy it. I'm just addicted to this uptown. I don't know. I think uptown was the original Brooklyn. And it's way better. It's like, Prospect Park is nice and everything, but it's not really integrated. I mean, it is and it isn't. Like Central Park is woven into this unbelievable metropolitan landscape, the grid, and it's just continuous, it's seamless, where it's just like it's almost like one continuous forest. It improves the city around it, and it benefits, where it's just like you walk into this kind of like wild, imaginative place, just like fucking Midsummer Night's Dream or something. It's just like you're immediately in this kind of like Dionysian kind of like cruising, right? They're all in Central Park. I'm an undercover cop, all right? I'm an undercover cop trying to expose dark MAGA forces downtown. Just like Al Pacino in Cruising. Whereas in Prospect Park, I don't know. It's just not. I mean, it's beautiful. You know, don't get me wrong. It's incredible. Brooklyn is like the most incredible place, but it's like New York is one of a kind. I mean, Manhattan is there's nothing like this, right? Like Brooklyn is like nice and everything, but I mean, Manhattan is fucking iconic. I hate to overuse the word, but it's true. Manhattan fucking practically coined the term. And Brooklyn is more like a suburb. It's nice as hell. It's very chill. But I didn't come here to fucking chill. I came here to be iconic and to be a part of the fucking action. You know, the lights, the Broadway shit, the legacy media. Or I mean, come on. I mean, I've been through Prospect Park a million times, and it is gorgeous. You can kind of get more lost in Prospect Park, if that's your thing. It's nice to have both. They're almost like two sides of a coin, I guess. Look at that. Wow. I did not expect this many flowers to be out today, to be honest. I am actually going to go back here to check these out. I was not anticipating all this. This is your foliage report, everybody. It's your hot foliage action. Your hot. They got Balto right there. The Balto statue, everybody. Check out that hot. Look at those yellow. I mean, it's going to get cold. So what's going to happen to all these beautiful flowers?
We should try to get out and see them.
You know, I mean,
they're amazing.
The first weeks of April, really the first week, till about April 10th, is like the most beautiful time of the year. The flowers, it's a very special time. It doesn't last long. And the weather kind of has to be, like I said, it's going to get cold, it's going to rain. It's not going to strip all of this nice, kind of beautiful. Look at the buds, these young, naive buds, just sort of peeking out into the world. I also had to come see horses. I was like, you know, I could go to Brooklyn, but there's no fucking carriage horses in Prospect Park, okay? There's not people riding around in fucking horse-drawn carriages. It's part of the goddamn magic of Central Park. You can't, and I don't know, there's just something about the Upper East Side and the Upper West Side and going back between the two through the park. It's like this brain, it's like lobes of the brain. They both have their own, but they're chill. Unlike downtown. Downtown is this kind of frenzy. It's this kind of pile up and disarray of action, which I love, but I kind of get people that have this rhythm of like uptown, downtown. You know, like you live uptown, you work downtown, or you go downtown for partying or kind of more business. But then you got all this. I mean, Jesus Christ. You really can't beat it. And I don't know, it just does, it's addicting. There's like a reverie quality. The flaneur thing, it kind of emanates from Manhattan and goes out. Brooklyn, you can definitely walk all over Brooklyn, but it's just residential for the most part. Manhattan is just like, there's so many worlds that are just so close together. There's all these changes in altitudes. You know, it's like having some kind of crazy mountain range that's just condensed and kind of scrunched into, but then the mountain range is alive and there's people living in the mountains and they're crawling out and putting on plays and musicals and making TV shows, and they have big studios and beautiful old buildings. And Barney Greengrass, for crying out loud. Kevin Bacon has spoken.
I think it's just, yeah, like,
But nice, the scat man. I don't know. We're just living, these things have taken on so much value because we've lived through this generation of just like intangibility. Everything that has been made is sort of like in a fucking screen. And after a few years, it just disappears. Any kind of old computer program, like there's some Windows that they're about to stop supporting or something. There's some window, and it's like there's all these online gaming communities that are based on this Windows operating system that they're just gonna like remove their fucking support for because like they don't have the money for the servers or whatever the hell it is. And it's like, digital culture is so freaking ephemeral and just kind of airy nothing, vaporous, that, old people feel that way too. Now it's like, I don't know, we have appreciation for these old rock stars like Bob Dylan or Paul McCartney that probably we didn't have 15 or 20 years ago, where it's like, you kind of can't believe they are still here. And it's also just like, there's nothing close that's been made that well since then. And so it's like, the buildings are like that, New York, the cities are like that, where it's like, wow, like, you want some pre-war fucking apartment because it's just better made. And it's almost like you can't even believe, it's like your lore. It's a side quest, or, you're living in some like cozy, whatever, West Village apartment. You're making fucking content about it. You're fetishizing it. You're able to like commercialize that experience because it's almost like you're cosplaying. Everything is like some kind of fucking cosplay now. But it's like, oh, I'm cosplaying that. And I'm Emily in Paris. And, these influencers just kind of like take their cliched vlog style to all these like antique cities that are being used like sets, basically, for some kind of like self-promotional, my journey. This is my journey as a poet in New York. Come with me along my journey. Get ready with me. Oh, it's a bunny guy. This guy's always on the Q train. Now he's in Central Park. Holy shit. Yeah, this is the guy who's always on the Q train. Now he's hit the big time. He's live from the Central Park band. Well, it's Easter, so the bunny should be out. Makes sense. Makes sense that the Easter bunny would be out, just kicking ass. What is he gonna do? Is he done? What's up? Come on, buddy. I guess he's done. Wow. Yeah, I was not expecting all this, but Jesus Christ, I mean, it's just not the same. It's just weird because, Brooklyn is like the cultural center in a weird, and so there is like this like off-centeredness or like bifurcatedness where it's like Manhattan still kind of demands central importance, but it's also priced everybody out. So it's like this weird souvenir theme park of like the people who are ripping everybody off and jacking off value to get rich off of nothing, basically. Finance people, tech people, and then once they get rich, they can try to pretend to be stand-up comedians or artists or something. Or just, be boring, which a lot of people here are. They want to go to like gaming cafes and shit. Well, I don't know. This is something I wanted to talk about. It's just like how often people use like a metaphor system from like video games now. It's just like, I feel like people are viewing real life through the fucking lens of like video game metaphors experience. When I was at the fucking dentist the other day, the dentist made some kind of fucking I forget what it was. I know that's super vague, but it's like, it's just, you know, more and more, just like our lexicon is coming from, like, even something like SideQuest. You know, oh, he's on a side. Snoop Dogg's just doing SideQuest now. It's like more and more people's ways that they're like explaining reality are coming from some fucking experience they had in a video game. I think particularly with men. I don't see it with women so much. I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. It's something I harp on a lot on this. It's just like video game culture and just like how significant it is and kind of how overlooked it is. Like, and, but it's also just like sad to me because it's not in real life and it's kind of like loner, you know, if that's a recipe to become a fucking incel. Like spend, you know, 1,000 hours playing fucking Elden Ring or whatever the hell it is. But if you don't do that, like look at Jack Black. Look at Jack Black on all these fucking TV shows and shit. He looks like shit. He looks like a guy who'd be hanging out the fucking guard tower, which is who his audience is. You know, there's such a huge constituency of people that are that now, that are like the comic book store guy. And who like, you know, what the fuck was that place behind? There was some comic store in Columbus. The Armory. We went to the Armory to play Tribes. They charge you like hourly to like play online multiplayer first-person shooter games. This was in high school. And, you know, at the time, and the room just smells like BO. And these are the people that became computer programmers and who could do that kind of shit. The people with the protractor glasses and, you know, who spend all their time on fucking computers because they didn't have any success in real life socializing. They were, and I'm not like vilifying these people, but they have this kind of like vengeful or like outcast kind of like right-wing like thing where it's like this is what's being enacted in the White House right now, is like the revenge of the nerds. Basically, all these people that like stole the world through fucking phones and computers and shit, and good for them. But they're all libertarians and crypto. You know, it's just it's become incestual with finance and just like kind of offshore tax dodging and wanting to overthrow the government and kind of right-wing militia almost. And all that shit is in online games. All those people are playing fucking Call of Duty or whatever the fuck it is now. I don't know. Not getting laid. Not having sex with women. I don't think. Maybe they are. Some of them are. It's not a hard and fast thing, but I think there probably is a correlation. And you can't stop it. You know, it's like they're just too good. These games are just too fucking good. They're better than life. You know, I saw that Mario Kart is going to have like a free roaming fucking capability where it's like you can just drive around Mario Kart like it's fucking Grand Theft Auto. It's like, you know, it's more comfortable. It's more kind of serotonin inducing. It's easier than going out. You know, I do think like people need to get out of their comfort zones and they should try to like be in real life, you know, as much as they can. But maybe they just need better video games. I don't know. When I was a kid, I bought this fucking Super Nintendo game, Liberty or Death. It was literally a fucking RPG about the Revolutionary War. And I was like stoked on this game. It was Super Nintendo. It was not really a good game, but like, you know, they had all the generals and shit. It was like, you know, kind of some kind of like, what was that game? I never really played RPGs, to be honest. There was one that was real big when I was like in middle school and high school. I don't know. I guess the real world has gotten so hard, or like, it's just another thing that if you're working full time, you probably are not going to want to go out and get out of your comfort zone. You're going to want to go home and just like play fucking Halo for fucking 10 hours. And I mean, even fucking Harmony Korine is all about video games, and more and more life is imitating digital culture. You know, more and more like the art world. When I was working at that Terra Downs gallery, the big Dean Kissick thing was like, they wanted paintings that looked like digital nature. They were copying kind of video game polygon effects and texture mapping and shit in their, like, you know, oil paintings. And that was like looked on as like internet art, sort of cutting edge shit. And that's what I see in language. You know, that's what I see when people in real life, when my fucking dentist is comparing, I think it was the X-ray gun. They had like this fucking gun that they, like, you know, they put a lead apron on you, and then they put that thing in your mouth, and then they take a bunch of pictures with this fucking gun. And it looks like a Halo gun or something. And so I think he said something about that, you know. And I don't know. Is that a sign of immaturity? How do you reconcile adulthood? You know, because video games are like a profound art form. You know, they're kind of more encompassing and immersive than movies are. And they're less passive in a way. A movie, you're just kind of like sitting there watching it. A video game, it's like you kind of have to put some effort into it. You know, it's sort of like, I mean, you know, any kind of puzzle in a Zelda game. I just like the roaming games. I didn't really want to have to solve a fucking anything where there was effort. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Fuck that. I'm taking the path of least resistance, and I just want to play, you know, SimCity for Super Nintendo. That was like my favorite game because it was this living urban planning simulation, which is still kind of what my life is, I guess. Playing God, playing with the toy train set of, which is what Trump is doing with our lives now. Trump and Elon have this megalopolis style, but Elon is so unpopular, and I think they really didn't intend I don't think they intended to lose this much money. And so, you know, like they're kind of starting to be like, well, Elon is done with his role at Doge and he's stepping away, and he's a little bit less in the spotlight with his chainsaw and his PR stunts and shit. His little kid in the Oval Office. It's not as cute to people anymore that they fucking lost, you know, half their fucking retirement. And everybody, you know, his brand is completely toxic. Nobody's buying the cars. It's ironic that Tesla is like an electric car, so like in theory it's for people on the left. And yet, you know, I don't really agree with this assessment. A lot of people are saying like, well, Elon was like center left, or Bill Maher says this too. It's like, well, he used to be a liberal, but the left just became so extreme. It's like, I don't really agree with that. I think that's kind of that's like a cop-out. Like, Elon Musk is extremely right-wing. I mean, allowing all these fucking Nazis and shit on Twitter, and it's like, that's not like a center-left thing to do. And everything he's doing in the fucking government, it's like, that's not like a center-left. It's like, that's like an extreme privatization and like corporate government by business. And, well, let me show you my new book cover since we're here, everybody. We're taking these fuckers to task. We're the real fucking Department of Government Efficiency. Trump is just on the fucking golf course. So yeah, this is my Casbah Doggerel. This is the fountain. This is Washington Square Arch and the fountain and shit. So for some reason I can't get it the whole page, but there, I finally finished the cover. The cover kind of brings it really ties it together. And it really becomes real when you have that cover on there. But yeah, I don't know. It's the end of, somebody undid, they're like, Is it the end of an era, people? What are we gonna do? Everybody's gonna lose their ass. I mean, even Jim Cramer's like, what the fuck is going on? I used to watch Mad Money every day for about a few months, back in like 2005 or something. I don't know. I'm a believer that like the less time that we spend on fucking screens, the more time we spend in person. That's always better. That's always the better fucking choice. I know that's ironic, considering I conduct most of my social relations through a fucking live stream. But, I mean, with social media in particular, it's like it damages relationships so much. There's so much like unnecessary drama and people getting mad at each other for no reason. I don't know. So, I'm assuming people are watching. Everybody is kind of like in real time describing why these tariffs are a bad idea. We're locked in it now. I mean, even... his approval rating is still like 43% or something. That's what's like so hard to believe. It's like, how is it that fucking high? The thing where Elon was like, Tim Waltz is a jerk. I think it's like really fucked up that he like laughs when like Tesla's losing all this value. It's like, that's how you can tell that like, that's where his emotions are. They're all money. His emotions are all just tied to money. Like all these fucking people, these capitalists. That's all they have. Their family just trained them to be fucking rich instead of, loved. Money is the fucking love. And, well, you can also tell that, like, that's where it hurts for him. Like, you can tell he's actually, like, fucking feeling, oh my God, this guy got a snake. He's actually feeling kind of the fucking, the pain. It's like, hey, that's not funny. You should have empathy for me. You should have empathy for my fake fucking business crumbling, as it should. Returning to earth. Back down to earth. Okay. Yeah, even they got a QR code for the gates. You can now experience Christos Gates through like some kind of virtual augmented reality experience. Isn't that just as good as the original thing? I mean, digital's just as good. I think the mistake is like them trying to make money off of it. When there's like a scarcity based on physical resources, then you can kind of understand why. Whereas like with digital stuff, it's like it could all be free. It could all be, like that's what's happened with movies and music and shit. I suppose in a way it is. All the apps and shit are free more or less, but we get them for free in exchange for being like these guinea pigs with like our data and shit. Okay. Hello. Bill's waving. Who are these guys? People just want to see New York. I mean, it's beautiful. Let's find some more fucking cherry blossoms. What do you say, everybody? People are boating. They're canoeing out here. They're just living their best lives. They don't give a fuck about the tariffs. The fact that their net worth has gone down like half. Hey, I don't, my net worth has pretty much stayed the same. This has not affected my personal net worth, so I'm happy to see these fucking assholes lose shitloads of money. Let the whole fucking thing tank. I'll be dancing. Maybe it'll make prices fucking come back down to earth. Maybe a studio apartment won't cost $2,700 fucking dollars. Disqualifying like anybody with like a real job, making it so the only people that can afford that. I don't even know how people afford it. I don't know how your normal person would afford $2,000 for a fucking studio apartment. It's happening, I guess. People are doing it somehow. Kevin Bacon's probably got some fucking rent-controlled situation. All these guys are singing or something. Can I walk across this fountain? I knew this was going to be some kind of singing thing. Let's check it out. Sounds pretty fucking good. It's like a high school. Nice. Can you hear that? These kids are pretty fucking good, aren't they? Let's get them jobs in musical theater. Can't we put them in fucking Dear Evan Hansen or something? Let's get these kids on Broadway immediately. I think my leg is feeling better. I think the drugs are working, which is good news. I think my eye is already kind of starting to look better. Maybe that's insane to think. How long is my
Jesus,
fucking
what a
mic?
fucking terrible choice.
My microphone is off and it didn't make any difference. Well, no, okay, so what does community mean is what I was talking about, and we are gonna need alternative structures. And I think that's that's where it starts, like I think open mics and performance, that's not a bad place to start for building community. Poetry in particular, I think, attracts people of a thoughtful, generally empathetic, compassionate mindset. People who have been wounded or marginalized, or they're finding a way to voice their experience. And so that's political. I think there's already a politics. I don't know. I'm sure with music, probably similar. Comedy, who the fuck knows? I mean, they definitely have a community in that they all can get together and insult each other and roast each other. But, I mean, as far as politics, I think people's politics are just confused. This is something I noticed with Gen Z is like, I think that they've been trained to be hyper moralistic about everything and be like politically righteous because of, Greta and, the fact they had to go through all these fucking school shootings and the Parkland, the Gen Z icons were all like victims, or they were all like, the media sort of picked them to be like the radical voice against the death of the world and shit. And there was like, this is the future, Greta is the future, so like we have to listen to her, this wise little fucking child from Iceland or something, like she's some fucking Harry Potter character. She's this little elfin, she could be in a fucking fantasy fucking, which is, how the lens that people just need that. They need to believe some kind of like medieval pseudo-Scandinavian like bent into everything. Like Jack Black is like this fat leprechaun magical goat pan figure. From like heavy metal world, Ronnie James Dio and fucking. And so they think that they're just like right about everything, but they've also been manipulated by the disintegration of the legacy media, which did have some responsibility to like truths or facts or objectivity, allegedly. It was probably more responsible than what we have now, which is basically like just like toxic waste and pollution that they're dumping into like young people's minds that spend all fucking day on the internet and can't tell the fucking difference between truth and lies. And so like they're incredibly like sanctimonious and judgmental and feel like politically like they're on some kind of like crusade, and yet they're stupid as hell. They're all Republicans. They all think voting for Trump was like voting for Bernie or something. That was like the anti-establishment. Trump was the peace candidate. Oh, there's a sandbox here. Maybe I'll play in the sandbox. This is like my favorite place, the Conservatory Water. I just had to enjoy it while I can in the Neil Simon soliloquy up there up east side. So yeah, let me get my book out again. Let me pimp my book some more here on QVC. The Home Shopping Network. This is it. Casbah Doggerel, everybody. Poem Diaries. See, the idea with my books is you open them up and they form like, you know, a panorama. So, you got to get that. That's hot. That's news that's going to stay news, people. Right? That's what Carlos Williams' famous dictum, what is poetry? News that stays news. It's interesting that he describes it as news. Am I conflating this? Am I wrong about what this means? I probably am, but I took it literally. And so I kind of took that as like, as poets, we're meant to be newspaper writers. It's literal news. And, you know, I mean, the media has disintegrated within our lifetimes. It's been crazy to see within my generation. Just going to journalism school felt like a pointless dead end in life, because you've just seen all these. I mean, didn't the Cleveland Plain Dealer fold? You know, you've seen all these newspapers go under, the alt weeklies, the other paper, Columbus Alive. Those used to be cool fucking Village Voice. You know, those used to be cool fucking sources of like counterculture. Now it's like there's a million, everybody's got their own little counterculture that they've curated out of like their vision board of their social media algorithm or whatever the fuck. And so there are no fucking reporters. Or there are, I mean, there are some people that do that. They're all rich. They're all Nepo baby cosplaying. You know, that's where the cosplaying comes from. It's just like the only people that are actually doing jobs that like are like rich people that can afford to lose money while they do those jobs. It's like everybody else is like either a service class like slave worker or you know, illegally homeless and going to Supermax. You know, Supermax meth heaven. And so, it's all just cosplaying, you know, fucking, you know, Maude Apatow is cosplaying as an actor. And, you know, you know, all these famous TV actors are cosplaying as writers. BJ Novak is cosplaying as like a writer. And Taylor Swift is just like a finance child who's cosplaying as like a pop icon. You know, and she's hired a lot of people to help her be convincing. You know, she's got a lot of people helping her music become what it is. And that's just what the era we live in. That's why I think, okay, I'm on 20%, so I'll just do a few more minutes. I don't know the story with Chappell Rowan. I don't know if she writes her own songs. I'm gonna believe that she does. I think Lana Del Rey is kind of like that too. I mean, is Lana Del Rey a Nepo baby that just kind of hires people to do her whole thing for her, or is it coming from her primarily? I think it probably is. She probably has like producers and shit, like Billie Eilish, right? Like it's her brother that does the production. I'm not sure what the story with Chappell Rowan is, but that being said, I've had this fucking Pink Pony Club song stuck in my head like literally all goddamn week. And that's not on purpose. I don't listen to the song alone by myself voluntarily. It's just everywhere. And to be honest, I think it's a great song. I think there's a reason why it's sort of self-perpetuating and it's this earworm. It's like, I think it's probably the best song written since like the 90s, maybe. Like, that's a real piece of music that like you could play on a fucking piano or a guitar. It's all melody. The lyrics are moving and relatable. And I don't know if she's got a team of like Disney 45-year-old, you know, never was rock stars that are writing that for her. But it seems like she just has that talent. I don't know. all her whole album. There's like multiple. I don't know if it's like a Sabrina Carpenter thing where like Jack Antonoff did it or whatever. See, this is what I'm saying is like these chicks that want to be famous just sort of like buy like some kind of like production team that figures out a way to launch them. You know, you can do, maybe that's how it's always been, but Chappell Rowan seems like really complicated. Like she's conservative, she's from Missouri or something, she's queer, but she's also like, you know, she's a Gen Z ignoramus, you know? It's like she doesn't actually know anything about politics. But you know, a lot of the best musicians are fucked up people, you know, fucking, they're all from the South. You know, they're all fucking from Memphis or whatever, you know, it's like, that's Sun Records, that's fucking Al Green, that's Stax, it's like, I don't know, that's where the music comes from. Who the fuck knows why? Because that's where a lot of the black people live, to be honest. The demographics are different. My viewership is going down. Is this because I'm talking positively about Chappell Rowan? I mean, those songs I think stand up, they will stand up with anything. You know, and there's a lot of, it's not just that song. There's some other good songs in the fucking Hot to Go. Is it lame? Is it like an old lame guy thing to be talking about this in this way? HOTTOGO. I don't know. I'm a student of pop music. I do sort of like follow those things, and it's just been such garbage for most of my lifetime. And so these songs I do feel like they're real songs. They're not just like okay, I'm also going to talk about Benny Blanco. You can tune out now because I've been a victim of the Benny Blanco propaganda campaign as much as anybody. But he's written memorable songs for like 15 fucking years. You know, he wrote fucking California Girls, and that's just a ripoff of Prince, but he wrote Diamond, Shine Bright Like a Diamond. So, I don't know. Of all, you know, the pop songwriters, there's always a certain amount of like garbage and just like schmaltz product, and so there's always sort of like an element of that, but it's like a part of our mental landscape that we can't really avoid or look away from. It's just sort of all around us, and these songs are one way we have of. I lost all my viewers because I started talking about this. Because I came out as pro Chappell Rowan and pro Benny Blanco. It's a controversial, I understand. Sometimes you just have to, I think, well, now that I'm 40, I've lived long enough to see that, like, I actually kind of know what the fuck I'm talking about. When it comes, songs that I've liked when I was younger that nobody liked have become more popular over the years. And so, like, I trust myself now to like have a good compass when it comes to like identifying like memorable sort of like pop things that become you know, like Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray is something that it was always not popular to like, but it stood the test of time, among other things. That's a horrible example, but that Rihanna, that Diamond song, right? I used that in a video in like 2013 or 14. And I've always liked Rihanna. I do think Rihanna is good. But she's somebody that like has a whole team of people that are kind of like creating the brand of Rihanna. I mean, even though she's incredible and just like a vibey spirit of all spirits. But I do think these Chappell Rowan songs are like probably the best songs that have been written since like probably Nirvana. Or I don't know. The 90s had a number of like one-hit wonder songs that are pretty amazing. The 90s, it was still like a democratic, if you were just like an acoustic guitar band, you could sort of steal the spotlight for like a fucking, you know, month or something in the 90s. Like if you're There's so like Breakfast at Tiffany's. What about? There's a million songs like that. Where do you? Collective Soul, Shine. It just doesn't seem like there's songs like that anymore. It seems like there's these kind of like prefabricated pop stars that are sort of like bought into our, like fucking Dua Lipa or Selena Gomez or Harry Styles. It's all fucking American Idol winners and X Factor, and let's hook them together with some fucking industry producers and teams of songwriters that are just gonna like workshop and group think like some hit song at the right BPMs based on our market research and what kind of we're in recession era pop, so things are about to get like Lady Gaga again. The initial recession era pop was like Lady Gaga, Fame Monster. That was 2008, right? When Obama, that's right when Lady Gaga sort of like blew up. Poker Face and this kind of like dance. And so now Lady Gaga's back, right? She's got a new album, Mayhem or whatever the fuck it is. It's time for recession pop, everybody. Brat summer's over. We're no longer coked out, spoiled fucking trust fund, international, pseudo club kid. Now it's like we're, who the fuck knows? It's gonna be, I don't know, over the top. It's the yuppie 80s again, all over again. It's Reagan on fucking ketamine. So buckle up, everybody. Get your copy of Casbah Doggerel. Sign up for the open mic. It's National Poetry Month, whatever that means. The government had to assign us a month because that's what it does to everybody that nobody gives a fuck about. They have to give them a month. National Women's History Month, Black History Month, Poetry Month. I don't even, is there any even other months? What are some of the other months? Did they give, isn't June like some, or what are the other months? I guess June is like Pride Month, or is that official? Is there some kind of official gay month? I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. National LGBTQ month or something, or queer history month or something. I don't know. How has that not happened? Did Trump repealed it? Trump said, hell no. This is DEI. This is we're slashing Queer History Month. Chappell Roan is no longer famous. I think Chappell Roan is like their idea of activism. It's just like by being that person, even though she's conservative and like she comes from like this religious conservative background, it's like her persona is sort of like the counter, the dissent. And being Republican, I guess, would be rebellious too, because it's like, oh, they're telling us, the legacy media, the expectation is that, well, young people are supposed to be liberal. The Democrats are just taking their whole coalition. You have to vote for them if you're black. You have to vote for them if you're young. You have to vote for them if you're gay, because, you just have to. What are you, crazy? You can't be a Republican. And so they all went, well, fuck you. Well, it's more punk rock to fucking vote for this dumbass who's gonna tank the economy. How punk rock is that? It's gonna crash Wall Street. That's pretty dope. I think they just want to transfer everything to crypto. Fuck Wall Street. They don't give a fuck. They've all got their, like, crypto shit. And they'll find out how worthless that is. The dollar, I guess, the value of the dollar has gone down a lot because of these tariffs. I think that's all on purpose. They want to turn this into a third world country. They want child labor. You know, in the South, they're trying to fuck with all these child labor laws so they can like have children work overnight and shit. It's like they want to go back to like Dickensian slave, you know, chimney sweep. You know, they want to enslave everybody because they're free. They're sick. They're sick. You know, they want total control over our lives and bodies, and they just want us to suffer because they hate us. I think I saw white college educated white people are like vote Democratic like 22% more than uneducated. This is one reason why they you know, one of the big things of this new administration is like attacking higher education and college. There's all this discourse about how college is a waste of money and you just don't even need to go. There's no point. And like, okay, taking out $80,000 in student loan debts is not a great idea. You know, you should understand, you should take responsibility for your actions. But it also should have been illegal for the fucking banks to loan. That's predatory as hell. That definitely should have been regulated. And our whole generation walked into that, right? The millennials famously will never stop paying off their student loans. It's just like a lifetime debt servitude. And I knew that. I knew that when I was 18, and that's why I didn't take out 80,000. I didn't have a great time in college. You know, I didn't go on fucking spring break. I didn't live in a house with all my friends, you know, getting $5,000 in credit card debt from doing shots. I was responsible. I lived at fucking home. I had a part-time job, like, and I came out with relatively little debt, less than $10,000 for a 4-year, 2 BAs. Like, I was smart enough to understand that it was incredibly irresponsible. I knew that when I was 18 years old. It's something I wrestled with. Like, I know that they're just trying to hook you into this debt lifestyle where you have to work because you have insurmountable payments. You know, they're $2,000 a month or something. But that being said, it's like they just want people to be stupid. They don't want educated white people because they won't vote for them. You know, they will not vote for Republicans because they understand how bad their policies are. Whereas dumb people don't understand that. You can convince dumb people that Trump is going to make everything cheaper and everybody's going to get rich and whatever the fuck he promised. And then he gets elected and all of a sudden he talks about invading Greenland and the Panama Canal in Canada. And he's going to start a war with Iran, and he's slapping all these tariffs, and he's firing everybody. It's like, what the fuck? If you're college educated, you're probably a woke tard because you are intelligent, and you understand that that is like the compassionate right thing to be and to do. Even if it is a little cringe and forced. Any case, thank you for watching, everybody. That's my 2 cents for today. I don't know. Maybe I'll get on tomorrow. Who knows what tomorrow will bring. God bless you. Have a great life. Get out of the house. I mean, none of the people who would watch me watch things like this. They probably are out doing things. They're probably out creating performance art or something. But please, you know, watch my stream while you're playing Call of Duty. Watch my stream while you're in Grand Theft Auto 6. You know, I think Grand Theft Auto 6 is probably the most significant cultural thing that's happened in the last, or whatever, Grand Theft Auto, whichever one. Take your pick. 3. You know, that's the best satire that anybody's writing, to be honest. And it's not just because the game is so good. It's like they really are good at, like, understanding what's going on in this country and like calling it out. The people that make those games, Rockstar or whatever, they're as good at portraying, because that's kind of what Grand Theft Auto is, I guess. It's like they're drawing a lifelike kind of like caricature of reality that's sort of amended and and revised for the whatever CPU or whatever the fuck. You know, they change it a little bit to make it original. You know, it's not just New York. It's like Liberty City. But they're looking at life, I think, and trying to put that experience into a game. And to be honest, I think they pioneered like the best version of that we have. You know, among other Zelda, you know, 64, Shenmue. But Grand Theft Auto is still the, you know, kind of the pinnacle of culture of the new millennium, maybe. That's my hot take, everybody. Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a great Easter. Christ is risen. Or is it, I mean, today's the day that it's Good Friday, which means they nailed him to the, I mean, I don't never know why it's called Good Friday. It's not a Good Friday in my book. Oh, I got nailed to a fucking wooden cross today. It's pretty Good Friday. All right, well, anyway. Happy Easter, everybody. Christ is risen. The pastels are on the trees. And get out there and get in nature. Have a good time. All right. Take care.